Hey, this video is for my spiritual peeps. So I've been noticing an uptick and a interest in spiritualism, spiritism, and Espiritismo. This interest comes around every couple of years or so, and it's always such a wonderful thing to see because at the end of the day, spiritualism, spiritism, and Espiritismo is all about progression. The more people that know about it, the more people that are interested in developing their mediumship abilities and their faculties, the better it is for all of us as a collective. So for me, when this trend comes rolling around every couple of years or so, I get super excited for the community. I get super excited for the people who are embarking on their journey. As someone who was born with this ability, I understand on a deep level how important it is to develop this carefully and with the right community around you. Unfortunately for me, I did not have the privilege of having the right community around me, especially during my vulnerable years. And so for me, my mediumship journey within my Latin culture of Espiritismo was a lonely one for quite some time. But the beautiful thing about my story is that it doesn't have to be your story. All of my time growing up was a solitary practice. All of my learning and development came because of elders and people who took time out to teach me. Never once claiming to be a godparent of mine, never once claiming that I was an initiate of anything. Just simply two people who saw each other's spiritual gifts, who saw each other's light, and decided to take time out of our day to develop one another. That is how my story went. But the beautiful thing, as I mentioned, is that my story isn't going to be everyone's story. And so I get so excited around these times of years when this interest shows up because I have taken the time out of my life to help others develop as well. Now, my profession is working in the mental health field, and my time is eaten up not just by my spiritual practices, but by the service that I do within my community. So my formal offering of, formal training within mediumship and Espiritismo and spiritualism and spiritism is something that I do very rigidly, like a set amount of time, okay? And so if you actually go to my website, you will see that I offer spiritual development intensive courses at minimum twice a year. If I'm lucky, if I have the time, I might offer it 3 times a year. But I usually do a spring semester and a fall semester. But this year, I'm doing a summer semester starting in June. And so those of you who are interested in spiritualism, spiritism, and Espiritismo, specifically from a mystical standpoint, I highly suggest you reach out to me. These classes will give you strong foundational information as well as practical applications in your day-to-day life. You will receive the audio and video and copies of the slides. If you complete the entire course, which is 10 classes, you'll also receive a certificate. However, you can come and take whatever class you want at any given time that you want. There is no pressure. Take what you need at this time in your spiritual journey and leave the rest, okay? The whole point of learning about your spiritual faculties and learning it correctly, learning it at the core with science, philosophy, and case studies. That is what I am here for, right? It is a wonderful, beautiful blessing to have elders in this community, but remember that spiritualism, spiritism, and Espiritismo are not initiate-based practices, okay? So I am not your godmother. You are not my initiate. You are simply a student, a mentee, an apprentice. When you are done with my class, you can choose never to see me again, Or if you end up loving what I show you and how I show it to you, then you are always welcome at the Magical Solution. My point for making this video is that every couple of years when this trend pops up again, I don't feel threatened. I don't feel like someone's trying to take my job. I don't feel like I have to prove myself or prove who's real and who isn't in this community, who's legitimate and who isn't in this community. Who's at the top of the popularity chain and who isn't in this community. For me, it is about the excitement that new faces, new people, developing spirits, developing minds are coming. They are excited, they are curious. And so as someone who has been doing this my entire life and who have been doing it for the community for 30 years and who have been teaching this community for 17 years and who have taken apprentices for the last 10 years, I can assure you that my spirit, my heart, my light, and my mind is completely dedicated to the path of mysticism, the path of truth, and the path of progression. And if that is something that you want to incorporate in your journey, however religiously you want to, or however, mundane you want to, is completely up to you, and my doors are always open. So once again, a summer semester is kicking off in June. Head over to my website, www.themagicalsolution.com, to sign up. And my next apprenticeship program will be available in January of next year, because I only take a small amount of apprentices per year, because it is extremely taxing on myself and the apprentices. So we want to make sure that everyone is feeling good for the year. All right? Thank you so much for listening. I'm excited to meet you. I'm excited to help you along your path. If you're unsure about what you want to do, by all means, book an appointment, a consultation with me to discuss, what your journey has been so far and what you may or may not be interested in doing, and maybe see if I can help refer you to the right people. Because another thing about being a part of this community is that we get to meet so many diverse people. Espiritismo, spiritism, and spiritualism is not a religion, and so it becomes something that gets incorporated into other spiritual paths. And so I have met Rosicrucian Espiritistas, I have met Freemason Espiritistas, I have met Buddhist Espiritistas, I have met all kinds of Espiritistas and spiritualists out here. And so if I'm not a good match for you, I am sure that I can help refer you to the right people that will help you on your path, and that's all that matters. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this was helpful for you, and I really hope to see you soon. My name is Leilani. This is The Magical Solution, and this is how we grow.